I, Jennifer, object.
The bride froze mid-vow. Down the aisle, as a woman carrying a toddler appeared and spoke 3 words that would stop the wedding. I, Jennifer, object. The room went silent. She wasn't just any guest. She was Jennifer Hector, the supposed wife of the groom, Harry Omilana. Harry Omilana stood at the altar, his face draining of color like water through a sieve. The toddler on her hip squirmed, reached tiny hands toward the man in the tuxedo, and said the one word that would make this impossible to undo. This truth didn't start at the altar. It started 4 days earlier, before the vows, before the guests, before the lie was dressed in white. 4 days earlier. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Jennifer folded the same towel 3 times before realizing it was already folded. Her coffee had gone cold on the counter an hour ago, still half full, still untouched. The toddler napped upstairs, and the house sat in that particular kind of quiet that should have felt peaceful but didn't. Her phone sat face down next to the coffee. She'd been ignoring it. 6 months since Harry proposed. 6 months since he got on one knee in this very living room, their son asleep upstairs just like now, and asked her to marry him with a ring that was simple, gold, and real. She'd said yes before he finished the question. They hadn't set a date yet. His excuse was always the same. He wanted to plan the perfect moment, the perfect venue, the perfect everything. She'd been patient. She wasn't worried. The ring caught light as she reached for her phone. She'd stopped noticing it most days. It had become part of her hand. But today, for some reason, she looked at it. Really looked at it. Her phone buzzed. Then again, she flipped it over. 2 texts from her cousin Maya. Call me. Now. Then, 5 seconds later. It's about Harry. Jennifer stared at the screen. Maya didn't do drama. Maya was practical, level-headed, the kind of person who thought before she spoke, which meant if she was texting like this, something was wrong. She almost called. Her thumb hovered over Maya's name. Then she heard the toddler stirring upstairs, that little pre-cry sound that meant he'd wake up fussy if she didn't get to him first. She set the phone down and went upstairs, leaving the messages unanswered. By the time she came back down with her son on her hip, her phone had buzzed 3 more times. She called. Maya picked up on the first ring. Finally! I was with the baby. What's going on? A pause. Not a good pause. The kind of pause that came before bad news. Someone at work said Harry's getting married. Jennifer laughed. It came out wrong. Too sharp, too loud. Her son looked up at her, startled. He's marrying me, Maya. Eventually. No. Maya's voice was tight. To someone else. This weekend. The kitchen tilted slightly. She shifted her son to the other hip and leaned against the counter. Who told you this? Does it matter? Yeah, it matters. Jennifer kept her voice steady. Because people talk. You know how small this town is. Probably someone else named Harry. Jennifer? Who said it, Maya? A longer pause. Someone in accounting. She knows him from the gym. She said he's getting married this Saturday. Jennifer's laugh was quieter this time. So a woman at your work who goes to the same gym as Harry heard a rumor. That's nothing. That's gossip. She seemed pretty sure. Well, she's wrong. Jennifer looked at her son, Harry's eyes, Harry's smile. I live with him. I think I'd know if he was getting married to someone else this weekend. Maya was quiet. I have to go, Jennifer said. The baby needs lunch. She hung up before Maya could respond. Her hands shook slightly as she set her son down in his high chair. She told herself it was nothing. Small towns ran on gossip. Someone probably heard something wrong, or made something up, or confused Harry with someone else. She texted him. Hey, can we talk tonight? His response came immediately. Of course, baby. Everything okay? The speed of his reply settled something in her chest. That was Harry, always responsive, always there when she needed him. If something was wrong, he wouldn't text back that fast. He wouldn't sound so normal. She typed, "Yeah, all good. Just miss you." "Miss you too. Home by 7. Jennifer set the phone down and focused on feeding her son. The rumor sat in the back of her mind like something she'd deal with later. Something small. Something that would make sense once she thought about it less. She didn't mention it to Harry that night. The grocery store the next morning smelled like bleach and overripe bananas. Jennifer pushed the cart with one hand, her son sitting in the front, babbling at the fluorescent lights. She was trying to remember if they needed milk when she saw Angela, Harry's co-worker's wife. They'd met twice, once at a company barbecue, once at some dinner Harry had dragged her to. Angela was nice enough, forgettable, but nice. Angela's face did something strange when she saw Jennifer, a flicker of something, surprise maybe, or discomfort. Then she smiled, but the smile came too late. "Jennifer, hi." Angela's eyes dropped to the toddler, then back up. "How are you doing?" The question felt wrong. The emphasis was in the wrong place. "How are you doing?" Like she was asking about something specific. "Fine," Jennifer said slowly. "Why?" "Oh, no reason, just—" Angela shifted her shopping basket from one hand to the other. "I heard, congratulations?" Jennifer's stomach did something cold. "On what?" Angela's face went through 3 expressions in 2 seconds. Realization, regret, panic. "Nothing. I must have mixed things up, sorry." She started to walk away. "Wait." Jennifer stepped in front of the cart. "What did you hear?" "Really, it's nothing. I probably got confused." "Angela, what did you hear?" Angela looked around like she was hoping someone would rescue her. No one did. She lowered her voice. Harry should tell you himself. I shouldn't have said anything." "Tell me what?" "I really have to go." Angela moved around the cart, walking quickly toward the registers. Jennifer stood there, her son reaching for a box of crackers on the shelf, while her mind tried to catch up with what just happened. 2 people now. 2 separate people who thought Harry was getting married. She pulled out her phone and called Maya. "I need to know exactly what you heard." That night, Harry fell asleep next to her like nothing was wrong. His breathing went deep, and even within minutes, he always fell asleep fast. Jennifer stared at the ceiling. 2:47 a.m., her phone said when she finally gave up and took it to the bathroom. She sat on the closed toilet lid and typed his name into the search bar. Harry Omilana wedding. Nothing came up. Just his LinkedIn, his old Facebook profile he never used, a mention in some company newsletter from 2 years ago. She tried Instagram. His profile was clean, mostly gym photos, some pictures of food, one of her and their son from 4 months ago. The caption was simple, "My people." She scrolled through his tagged photos, a few from coworkers, some from college friends he barely talked to anymore. Then she saw it. A comment on his cousin Marcus's post from 3 weeks ago. The post was a photo of Marcus at some restaurant, nothing special. But in the comments, "Can't wait for next Saturday." Jennifer screenshotted it. Her hands were steadier than she expected. She clicked on Marcus's profile. Private. She clicked on his followers, looking for anything, anyone who might give her more information. Then she tried Facebook again. Typed in Harry's name with wedding and Saturday, and every combination she could think of. Nothing. She went back to his Instagram, scrolling further back. 6 months ago, when he proposed to her. The photo of them together was still there. She'd posted it to her own account, too. He asked. I said yes. Harry had commented, "Luckiest man alive." She stared at that comment until the words stopped looking like words. Then she looked at his phone on the nightstand through the bathroom door. It sat there, screen dark, filled with answers she didn't have. She didn't touch it. She went back to bed, laid down next to him, and didn't sleep. The third day felt like moving through water. Everything took too long. Her son wanted breakfast. She made it. He wanted to play. She played. Harry called during lunch to check in. She said everything was fine. "You sound tired," he said. "Just didn't sleep well." "Want me to take the baby tonight? Give you a break?" "No, I'm good." A pause on his end. "You sure you're okay?" This was where she could ask. Where she could say, "Someone told me you're getting married this weekend. Tell me that's crazy. Tell me that's not true." But if she asked and it was true, then it would be real. And if she asked and it wasn't true, then she was the crazy one, the paranoid one who didn't trust him. "Just tired," she said again. "Okay. Well, I have that work event tonight, so I'll be late. Don't wait up." "What work event?" I told you about this, the vendor dinner thing." She didn't remember him mentioning it, but maybe he had. Maybe she had. Maybe she was so caught up in Maya's rumor that she was forgetting normal things. "Right. Okay. Love you." "You too." He hung up and watched him leave 2 hours later. Suit pressed, cologne that smelled expensive, shoes she'd bought him for Christmas. He kissed her forehead on his way out. She watched through the window as he drove away. Then she put her son down for a nap and sat on the couch, staring at nothing. When Maya knocked on the door 20 minutes later, Jennifer wasn't surprised. Maya didn't wait to be invited in. She walked straight to the kitchen table and set her phone down like evidence. "I found something." Jennifer sat across from her. She felt hollow, like all the air had been scooped out of her chest and nothing had rushed in to fill the space. Maya opened her phone and pulled up a website, a wedding venue, elegant, expensive-looking, the kind of place Harry always said they'd get married at someday. She turned the phone toward Jennifer. The venue's calendar showed a booking for Saturday. Private event. The text was small but readable. Private event. Omilana, Reeves' wedding. Reeves. Not Hector. Not Jennifer's last name. Jennifer stared at the screen until Maya took the phone back. "Could be a different Omilana," Jennifer said. Her voice sounded far away. "Jennifer, in this town?" "It's possible." Maya didn't argue. She just swiped to the next screenshot. A photo from the venue's Instagram posted 2 weeks ago. A tasting menu spread across a white tablecloth. The caption, "Excited for the Omilana Reeves celebration." The photo showed 2 hands reaching for wine glasses. You couldn't see the faces, but the man's hand wore a watch. Jennifer knew that watch. She'd bought it for Harry's birthday 8 months ago. The hollow feeling in her chest filled with something else, something sharp. "I need you to leave," Jennifer said quietly. Maya stood. "Jennifer, please, I need to think." Maya hesitated, then nodded. "Call me, please." After she left, Jennifer sat at the table and stared at her son's toys scattered across the floor. A plastic truck, some blocks, a stuffed elephant Harry had won at a carnival last summer, evidence of a life, of a family. She looked at her ring again, still there, still real. Then she picked up her phone. The venue receptionist sounded cheerful. Too cheerful for 9 a.m. on a Thursday. "Rosewood Gardens. This is Melissa. How can I help you?" Jennifer kept her voice light, friendly. "Hi, I'm supposed to attend the Omilana wedding this Saturday, but I lost the invitation and I'm panicking a little. Can you help me with the details?" "Oh, of course. Let me pull it up." Keyboard sounds in the background. "Okay, yes. Saturday at 4 p.m. Are you with the bride's family or the groom's?" Jennifer's throat went tight. "Groom's." "Wonderful. Just so you know, it's formal attire. The ceremony will be in the garden and the reception is in our main hall. We're expecting about 100 guests, so it should be beautiful." "Perfect. And I'm so embarrassed, but can you remind me of the bride's name? I keep mixing it up in my head. A small laugh from the receptionist. Cassandra Reeves. They're such a sweet couple. Jennifer's hand gripped the phone so hard it hurt. Great. Thank you so much. Of course. See you Saturday. Jennifer hung up. Cassandra Reeves. She opened Facebook, typed in the name, found her immediately. 28 years old, architect. Beautiful in that effortless way some people just were. Long, dark hair, perfect skin, the kind of smile that probably made men stupid. Jennifer scrolled through the profile. It was public. Thank God for people who didn't understand privacy settings. Photos going back months. Cassandra at a restaurant. Cassandra at a concert. Cassandra hiking. Cassandra at the beach. And in several of them, Harry. His arm around her shoulders. His hand on her back. His face next to hers, smiling the same smile he gave Jennifer. The oldest photo with him was from 8 months ago. Some bar downtown, both of them holding drinks, both of them looking happy. 8 months ago, 2 months before he proposed to Jennifer. Jennifer kept scrolling. 10 months ago, a photo of moving boxes. Caption, New Beginnings. Cassandra had moved here 10 months ago, and 10 months ago, Harry started working later. Started having more projects that kept him at the office. Started being too tired on weekends to do much besides sleep. Jennifer had thought it was work stress. She'd been understanding. Supportive. The most recent post was from 3 days ago. A photo of white flowers. Caption, Almost time. 63 likes, 32 comments. Everyone congratulating her, everyone excited. Jennifer took a screenshot of every photo with Harry in it. Then she went back through her own phone. 6 months ago, Harry proposed to her in their living room. 8 months ago, first photo of Harry and Cassandra together. He was with Cassandra when he proposed to Jennifer. She kept scrolling through Cassandra's feed, going back further, looking for any mention of a child, any hint that she knew about Jennifer. Nothing. Then she found a post from 7 months ago. A photo of Cassandra at some work event, dressed professionally, smiling at the camera. The caption was longer than usual. Grateful for fresh starts. Moving here was the best decision I ever made. Finally building the life I always wanted. Amazing job, amazing city, and someone who makes me believe in forever. Here's to new chapters. The comments were full of heart emojis and congratulations. Friends saying they were so happy for her. Asking when they'd get to meet the mystery man. Jennifer's chest felt like it was caving in. Cassandra didn't know. She had no idea Jennifer existed. No idea there was a child. Cassandra thought she was building a life with a man who was available, a man who was hers, just like Jennifer did. Jennifer set the phone down and looked around her living room. Their living room. The couch they'd picked out together. The TV they'd argued about buying because it was too expensive, but he'd insisted. The framed photo on the wall. Jennifer, Harry, and their son at the beach last summer. Evidence of a life. Except Harry had built another one with someone else at the same time. She picked up her phone again and went through her calendar. Every late night Harry had worked. Every weekend he'd been too tired. Every time he'd said he had plans with the guys. She cross-referenced them with Cassandra's posts. They matched, every single one. The night Harry said he had a work dinner, Cassandra posted a photo at the same restaurant. The weekend Harry said he was helping Marcus move, Cassandra posted photos of a hiking trip. Harry was in one of them. The Tuesday nights he said he was at the gym. Cassandra posted about date nights. He'd built a calendar where they never overlapped, where Jennifer had the weeknights he was too tired, and Cassandra had the weekends he was busy. Where Jennifer had the mornings before work, and Cassandra had the evenings after. Where Jennifer had the sick days, and Cassandra had the celebrations. Jennifer had read about this before, men who lived double lives. She'd always thought they were sloppy, that someone always found out quickly. But Harry wasn't sloppy. Harry was meticulous. 2 phones. He must have had 2 phones. She'd never thought to check, because why would she? They lived together. She saw his phone all the time, except now she realized she only ever saw one phone, and he always kept it face down. She walked upstairs to their bedroom, to her bedroom, because that's what it was about to become. She opened his closet. His clothes hung neatly, organized by type. Suits on the left, casual wear on the right. She'd always liked how organized he was. She started checking pockets, third suit jacket, a receipt from a jewelry store, dated 3 months ago, an engagement ring, expensive, not the ring on Jennifer's finger. She kept searching, found another receipt, a hotel, downtown, 2 months ago. A weekend Harry had said he was visiting his brother, found a business card from a florist she didn't recognize, found a sticky note in his handwriting. Pick up tux Friday. Tomorrow. He was picking up a tux tomorrow. For a wedding on Saturday. Jennifer sat on the bedroom floor, surrounded by evidence, and felt something shift inside her. The fear and confusion crystallized into something clearer. Anger. Cold and focused. She pulled out her phone and took photos of everything. Then she put it all back exactly where she'd found it. Harry would come home tonight. He'd kiss her hello. He'd play with their son. He'd ask how her day was, and she'd smile and say it was fine, because she had a plan now. Friday morning, Harry left early. Said he had meetings all day. Jennifer watched him go, her son on her hip, waving bye-bye like he always did. "Bye-bye, Dada," the toddler said. Harry's face did something soft when he heard it. He came back, kissed his son's head. "Bye, buddy. Love you." Then he kissed Jennifer. "Love you too." "Love you," she said back. She meant it. That was the worst part. Even now, even knowing everything, some part of her still meant it. But love wasn't enough. Love didn't make him honest. Love didn't make him choose her. Love didn't protect her from what he'd done. After he left, Jennifer called Maya. "I need you to watch him tomorrow, the baby." "Why? What are you doing?" "I'm going to the wedding." Silence on the other end. Then, "Jennifer, I'm going. I need to do this." "Okay." Maya's voice was careful. "Okay. What time?" "Ceremony starts at 4. I'll drop him off at 3. Do you want me to come with you?" Jennifer hesitated. "If you go," Maya said, quieter now, "you can't pretend you didn't know." "I'm not going for him," Jennifer replied. "I'm going for the woman he's lying to." Silence. "Then don't warn her," Maya said. "Show her." Jennifer hung up and looked at her son, playing with blocks on the floor. He looked so much like Harry. Same eyes, same smile, same little expressions. A man who had built 2 lives and kept one of them hidden. Jennifer watched her son knock the tower over and knew one thing for certain. He deserved better than a father who lied. Better than a father who built a life so compartmentalized his own family was a secret. Jennifer had spent 2 days crying. 2 days feeling stupid and small and blind. She was done crying, and whatever happened next, the truth was no longer hers to carry alone. But before we dive in, drop a comment. Would you ever do the same? I want to know your thoughts. Saturday arrived with perfect weather. Sunny, clear, the kind of day that made people believe in good things. Jennifer dressed carefully, not for Harry, not to impress anyone, but to present herself as undeniably real, solid, someone who couldn't be dismissed or ignored. Dark jeans, white blouse, her hair pulled back. No makeup except mascara. She wanted to look like exactly what she was, a woman who'd been living a normal life until 4 days ago. She dressed her son in the outfit Harry had bought him last month. Blue shirt, tiny khaki pants. He looked impossibly small. "We're going to see Daddy," she told him. He clapped his hands, excited. Jennifer drove to Maya's house first, handed over the diaper bag, the backup clothes, the snacks. Maya hugged her at the door. "You don't have to do this." "Yes, I do." Call me after, please." Jennifer nodded. Then she drove to the venue. She arrived 30 minutes before the ceremony, her son on her hip. She decided last minute to carry him along. The venue was beautiful. White roses everywhere, elegant chairs set up in perfect rows, an arch covered in flowers. The kind of wedding Jennifer had imagined for herself. There was a guest book open on a table in the lobby. Jennifer flipped through it while a staff member wasn't looking. Names she didn't recognize. Then some she did. Harry's cousin Marcus, his co-worker David. Angela's name was there too. People who knew Jennifer existed. People who'd met her, talked to her, smiled at her. People who were here to watch Harry marry someone else. She wondered how many of them knew, how many were in on it, how many thought this was fine. A staff member approached her, smiling. "Ma'am, are you here for the wedding?" "Yes, I'm with the groom." "Wonderful. Right through those doors. The ceremony will start in about 20 minutes. Jennifer looked through the window. She could see Harry at the altar talking to his best man, straightening his tie, looking nervous, looking like a groom. She stood there for a long moment, her son getting heavy on her hip. She could still leave, could turn around, drive home, never look back. She could call a lawyer Monday, handle this quietly, civilized. But Cassandra deserved more than that. Deserved to know before she signed her name to a lie. And Jennifer deserved to see his face when the truth came out. Deserved to watch the life he'd built crumble the same way hers had. She shifted her son to the other hip and walked toward the ceremony doors. Music started inside, soft, classical, the kind that meant things were about to begin. Jennifer waited in the back, watched the officiant take his place, watched Harry stand there, hands clasped in front of him. Then the wedding march began, and everyone stood. Cassandra appeared at the end of the aisle. She was beautiful, more beautiful than her photos. Her dress was simple and elegant, her face radiant. She looked happy. Jennifer's chest ached. Cassandra walked down the aisle, smiling at guests, her eyes locked on Harry. When she reached him, he took her hands. Jennifer could see his face. He looked at Cassandra the way he looked at Jennifer, like she was everything. The officiant began speaking. Jennifer only half heard it. Her pulse was too loud in her ears. "We are gathered here today?" Her son squirmed. She bounced him gently, keeping him quiet. "To join together Harry and Cassandra in matrimony." Harry's cousin caught sight of Jennifer in the back. His eyes went wide. "A sacred bond before family and friends." The officiant continued, and Jennifer waited. She knew the words that were coming. "If anyone has reason, these two should not be wed. Speak now, or forever hold your peace." The room held its breath. It was supposed to be ceremonial. No one ever actually objected. Jennifer shifted her son to her other hip. The movement caught attention. A few heads turned. Harry saw her. His face drained of color like someone had opened a valve. He made a small movement, a shake of his head, subtle, desperate, trying to tell her no without anyone else noticing. But Jennifer was done with his signals, done with his control. She walked down the aisle, measured, calm, every step deliberate. Guests turned to look. Whispers started. Cassandra was still facing Harry, hadn't turned yet. The officiant trailed off. "Or forever hold your—" Jennifer reached the halfway point and spoke clearly, loud enough to be heard, and said those 3 words.
"I, Jennifer, object."
"I, Jennifer, object." Cassandra turned. Her face was still lit with that ceremony glow, the kind of happiness that came from believing everything in your life was finally clicking into place. She saw Jennifer, saw the toddler, and confusion flickered across her features. Not alarm yet, just confusion. Like Jennifer was a guest who'd gotten lost, wandered into the wrong ceremony. Then Jennifer spoke again. "Tell her, Harry." His name in the room like that, said by someone who wasn't the bride, made everyone shift. The whispers got louder. Harry stood frozen at the altar. His best man put a hand on his shoulder. Harry shook it off. "Jennifer." His voice was quiet, controlled, like he was trying to contain something explosive. "This isn't... You don't understand." "I understand perfectly." Jennifer's voice stayed level. She looked at Cassandra. "He proposed to me 6 months ago. This is his son. We live together." The words landed in the space between them like stones dropping into still water. Cassandra's face changed. The happiness drained out of it, replaced by something raw. She looked at Harry, then at Jennifer, then at the toddler on Jennifer's hip. "What?" Her voice was small. "Harry?" Harry reached for her. "Cassie, please, just..." She stepped back. "What is she talking about?" Jennifer took another step forward, close enough now that she could see Cassandra's hands shaking, close enough to see the exact moment understanding started to break through the confusion. "We have a house on Riverside Drive," Jennifer said. "He comes home to us most nights. He proposed in our living room while our son was asleep upstairs." Cassandra was shaking her head. Small movements, like she could physically reject the words if she tried hard enough. The toddler squirmed in Jennifer's arms, reaching toward Harry again, and said the one word that would make this impossible to undo. "Da-da." That word, so simple, so innocent, cut through every excuse Harry might have tried to build. Cassandra heard it. Everyone heard it. "That's not..." Cassandra's voice broke. She looked at Harry. "Tell me she's lying. Tell me this is crazy and she's lying." Harry opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. "It's complicated," he finally said. "Wrong answer." Cassandra's face did something Jennifer recognized. That shift from confusion to understanding, to betrayal happening so fast, it was almost one expression. "Complicated?" Cassandra said the word like it tasted wrong. "Complicated?" "Let me explain. How long?" Cassandra's voice got louder. "How long have you been with her?" Harry looked at Jennifer, then at Cassandra, trapped between them with nowhere to go. "Answer her," Jennifer said quietly. "Over 3 years." The words came out barely above a whisper. Cassandra laughed. It was an ugly sound, sharp and broken. "Over 3 years, and I met you 10 months ago. You've been with her for over 3 years. She looked at the toddler again. Really looked this time. The child was squirming, making grabbing motions toward Harry, saying "da-da" again like it was a game. "How old is he?" Jennifer answered. 2.5. The math was simple, brutal. Cassandra's face went pale. "You had a whole family." Her voice was shaking now. "While you were with me, while you were proposing to me, while you were planning this." She gestured at the ceremony space, the flowers, the guests. "You had a whole family." "It's not what you think." "Then what is it, Harry?" Cassandra's voice cracked. "Explain it to me. Make it make sense." He couldn't. Jennifer could see it on his face. He had no explanation that would work, no story that would make this okay. The guests were silent, 100 people watching a man's life fall apart in real time. Harry's mother stood up from the front row. "Harry." Her voice cut through the noise. "Harry, what have you done?" He flinched, actually flinched at his mother's voice. "Mom, I..." "Don't." She walked closer, stopping a few feet away. Her eyes moved to Jennifer, to the child. "I didn't know you existed. He never..." She looked at her son. "We never knew." Jennifer felt something crack in her chest. His family didn't know. He'd kept her and their son hidden from everyone. "He told me you were estranged," Jennifer said quietly. "That you didn't speak. That bringing a girlfriend around would be complicated." Harry's mother's face twisted. "We're not estranged. We have Sunday dinners. She stopped, looked at Harry. "When did you tell us you were busy on Sundays?" He didn't answer. When, Harry? A year ago. His voice was hollow. And that was when... His mother gestured at Jennifer. Jennifer nodded. Sunday mornings. That's when he's with us. Was with us. She corrected herself. Past tense now. Had to be. Cassandra was crying. Silent tears running down her face, ruining her makeup. She pulled at her veil, yanked it off and let it fall to the ground. At all? Or was I just convenient? Of course I loved you. Don't. She held up her hand. Don't say that word. You don't get to say that word. She looked at Jennifer, really looked at her for the first time. Did you know about me? Jennifer shook her head. Found out 4 days ago, through gossip. Then I found your Instagram. 4 days. Cassandra processed that. You knew for 4 days, and you waited until now. I needed proof, and I needed you to hear it somewhere he couldn't lie his way out of. Something shifted in Cassandra's expression. Not forgiveness, understanding. She nodded slowly. Then she turned back to Harry, reached down and pulled off her engagement ring. The diamond caught the light as she held it up. I was going to marry you, she said. I was going to build a life with you. I moved here for you. I turned down a job in Boston because you said you couldn't leave. I told my family this was it. You were the one. She dropped the ring at his feet. We're done. She walked down the aisle, not running, walking with her head up, her spine straight. But Jennifer saw her shoulders shaking. Cassandra paused when she reached Jennifer. For a second, they just looked at each other. Two women who'd been promised the same future by the same man. Thank you, Cassandra said quietly. Then she was gone. Through the doors, out of sight. Harry stood alone at the altar. His best man had backed away. The officiant looked like he wanted to disappear into the flowers. The guests were staring, some with shock, some with disgust, a few with something that looked like pity. Harry's eyes found Jennifer's. Why would you do this? The question was so absurd, she almost laughed. Why would I do this? She shifted her son to her other hip. He was getting restless, picking up on the tension. You're asking me why? You ruined everything. I ruined everything? Her voice got louder. Heads turned. You ruined everything. You built 2 lives because you were too much of a coward to choose one. Don't you dare put this on me. I was going to figure it out. When? After you married her? After you had another kid? When exactly were you planning to figure it out? He had no answer. Harry's best man, Jennifer had met him once, months ago, stepped forward. Harry, man, you need to leave. This is my wedding. No, it's not. The best man's voice was hard. Not anymore. You need to go. Harry looked around the room, looking for allies, for someone to back him up. To tell Jennifer she was wrong, she was crazy, she was the problem. No one did. His cousin Marcus wouldn't meet his eyes. His co-worker David was staring at the floor. Angela, the woman from the grocery store, was crying quietly in the 3rd row. They'd all known Jennifer existed, maybe not the details, but enough. And they'd said nothing. Jennifer felt anger rise in her throat, not just at Harry, at all of them. How many of you knew? She raised her voice. How many of you knew I existed? Silence. Answer me. How many? Marcus raised his hand slowly. So did David. Angela. 3 more people Jennifer didn't recognize. And you said nothing. Jennifer's laugh was bitter. You were going to sit here and watch him marry someone else, knowing he had a family at home, knowing he had a son. Marcus spoke up, his voice defensive. It wasn't our place. It absolutely was your place. Jennifer's voice echoed off the high ceilings. You let him lie. You enabled this, all of you. Her son started crying, upset by her raised voice, by the tension. Jennifer bounced him, trying to soothe him, but her own hands were shaking. Harry moved toward her. "Let me take him." "Don't touch us." Jennifer backed away. "Don't you dare touch us. He's my son. He's a child you hid from your own family. You don't get to claim him now." Harry's mother moved closer to Jennifer. "May I?" She gestured at the toddler. Jennifer hesitated, then nodded. The older woman reached out carefully. The toddler went to her. Children always sensed safety. He calmed down in her arms, even though he'd never met her before. "What's his name?" she asked softly. "Ethan." Ethan. Harry's mother looked at her grandson with something like grief on her face. "I have a grandson named Ethan, and I'm meeting him at my son's failed wedding." She looked at Harry. "You kept him from us, your son, our grandson. For what? So you could play pretend with someone else?" "Mom." "I don't want to hear it." Her voice was ice. "I don't want to hear your excuses or your reasons. I want to know my grandson. That's all I want from you now." She turned to Jennifer. "May I see him? After this? I know I have no right to ask, but—" "Yes." Jennifer's throat was tight. Yes, he should know his grandmother. Harry looked like he'd been slapped, his own mother choosing Jennifer over him, choosing truth over whatever story he'd been building. The best man touched Harry's arm again. "Seriously, man, you need to leave." This time, Harry didn't argue. He looked at Jennifer one more time, like he wanted to say something, like there were words that could fix this. There weren't. He walked down the aisle, past the staring guests, past his family, past the flowers and the carefully arranged chairs and the life he'd tried to build on lies. The doors closed behind him. The room stayed silent for a long moment. Then people started moving, gathering their things, whispering to each other, avoiding eye contact with Jennifer. She stood at the altar with Harry's mother, who was holding Ethan gently, speaking to him in soft tones even though he couldn't understand the words. Jennifer's legs felt weak. She'd done it, said the truth out loud, stopped the wedding, but she didn't feel triumphant. She just felt empty. The venue coordinator approached carefully. "Ma'am, is there anything you need?" Jennifer shook her head. "I just need to get my son home." "Of course, take your time." Harry's mother handed Ethan back. "Can I have your number? I want to be part of his life. If you'll let me." Jennifer pulled out her phone with shaking hands. They exchanged numbers. "He deserves to know his family," Jennifer said. "The real one, not the fake version Harry was building." "Thank you." The older woman's eyes were wet. "And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry he did this to you." Jennifer nodded. She didn't trust her voice. She walked back down the aisle. The guests had mostly cleared out. A few stragglers remained, probably waiting to see what would happen next, hungry for the rest of the story. Jennifer didn't owe them anything. She walked through the doors, out into the sunshine, and found herself in the parking lot. That's where she finally broke. But before we continue, Jennifer chooses public confrontation. Was it the right choice? Could Jennifer have exposed Harry's lies without destroying Cassandra's wedding day? What would you have done? Confront privately, tell Cassandra beforehand, or do exactly what she did? Let us know in the comments. Jennifer made it to her car before the sobs came. She got Ethan into his car seat. He was calm now, chattering to himself, oblivious, and then she sat in the driver's seat and cried. Not quiet tears, full-body sobs that made her chest hurt. 4 days. She'd known for 4 days. 4 days of holding it together, gathering evidence, making a plan. 4 days of pretending everything was fine while her world was ending. And now it was done. The truth was out. The wedding was stopped. But she didn't feel better. She felt destroyed. and that day she swore to make Ethan pay by taking full custody of Ethan and raising their son all alone. 3 weeks later, a knock on her window made her jump. Cassandra stood outside the car. She wasn't in her wedding dress, but the ghost of it was there. In the hollows under her eyes, in the way she stood as if her bones were too heavy. She looked like she hadn't slept. Jennifer rolled down the window. "Can we talk?" Cassandra's voice was rough. "Just for a minute?" Jennifer wanted to say no, wanted to drive away, go home, hide. But Cassandra's face stopped her. The same pain Jennifer felt was written all over it. "Okay." Cassandra walked around the car and got in the passenger seat. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Cassandra spoke. "I need to know something, and I need you to tell me the truth." "Okay. Did he tell you he loved you?" Jennifer's chest tightened. "Every day." Cassandra nodded, like she'd expected that answer but needed to hear it anyway. "He told me that too." "I know. How do you know?" "Because men like him don't just love one person. They love the way people make them feel. And we both made him feel good." Cassandra was quiet. Then, "Did you love him?" "Yes," Jennifer's voice cracked. "I still do. That's the worst part." "Yeah." Cassandra wiped at her face. Her hands came away black with mascara. "I loved him too. Love him? I don't know. Is it still love if the person you loved never really existed?" Jennifer had been asking herself the same question for 4 days. She didn't have an answer. Cassandra leaned back against the seat, closed her eyes. "I moved here for him. Did you know that? I saw your Instagram, the post about fresh starts. I left everything, my friends, my family, a job I loved, because he said this was where our future was." She laughed. That same broken sound from before. "I should have known. When someone asks you to give up everything, and they give up nothing, that's not love." Jennifer thought about what she'd given up. Not as dramatic as a move, but she'd given up certainty, safety, the belief that love meant honesty. "Did he ever mention me?" Jennifer asked. "Ever say anything about us?" "No, never." Cassandra opened her eyes. "He said he'd had a serious relationship before, but it ended badly. That she was emotionally unstable." She made air quotes with her fingers. "He made it sound like ancient history." Jennifer felt something cold in her stomach. "He told you I was unstable?" "He said his ex was. I assumed. God, I'm an idiot." "You're not an idiot. He's a liar." Cassandra turned to look at her. "How did you find out?" "Really?" Jennifer told her. "About Maya's call. About the woman at the grocery store. About finding the venue and calling to confirm. About discovering Cassandra's Instagram and seeing all the photos." "I spent 2 nights going through everything," Jennifer said. "Building a timeline, matching up his excuses with your posts. It all lined up perfectly." "He was careful. He was meticulous." They sat with that for a minute. The weight of how much planning it took to betray 2 people so completely. "I need to know something else," Cassandra said. "And you can tell me it's none of my business, but does he know? About your son?" "Of course he knows. He lives with us. He's—" Jennifer stopped. Processed what Cassandra was actually asking. "Wait, did he tell you he couldn't have kids?" Cassandra's face confirmed it. "He said it was a medical thing, that he'd wanted children, but it wasn't possible." Jennifer looked at Ethan in the back seat. He'd fallen asleep, his head tilted to one side, his little hands curled into fists. "He lied about that too." "Of course he did." Cassandra's voice was hollow. "Was anything true? Anything at all?" Jennifer didn't know how to answer that, because some of it had felt true. The way he looked at her in the mornings, the way he played with their son, the way he'd proposed, nervous and excited and genuine. Or maybe she'd just wanted it to be true so badly that she'd convinced herself. "I don't know," she finally said. I really don't know. Cassandra nodded. She understood. They were both asking the same questions, drowning in the same uncertainty. What happens now? Cassandra asked. For you? I'm going to make it impossible for him to be a half-father. Full custody. He'll see Ethan under supervision, with a court-appointed monitor he has to pay for. Not his mother, not a friend, a professional who files reports. She looked out the windshield, her profile hard. He made our son a secret. I'm going to make every minute with him a supervised, documented event. Fatherhood won't be a role he plays when it's convenient. It'll be a privilege he has to earn back in a room with a witness. What about you? What are you going to do? Cassandra looked out the window. Leave. Go back to Boston. Take that job if it's still available. Start over. Again. I'm sorry. Don't be. You saved me. Cassandra turned back to her. I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but you did. Better to know at the altar than 5 years and 2 kids in. Jennifer had thought the same thing, but hearing someone else say it made it feel more true. Can I ask you something? Jennifer said. Yeah. Do you hate me? Cassandra was quiet for a long moment. Then, no, I thought I might. But no, you didn't do this. He did. Jennifer felt something release in her chest, relief she didn't know she needed. Thank you for telling me, Cassandra said. For stopping the wedding. I know that couldn't have been easy. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. But you did it anyway. I had to. You deserve to know. Cassandra reached over and squeezed Jennifer's hand, just for a second. Then she opened the car door. Take care of yourself, she said, and your son. You too. Cassandra got out and walked across the parking lot to her own car. Jennifer watched her go, watched her drive away. Then Jennifer started her car and headed home. 1 month passed in a blur of lawyers and custody negotiations and establishing new routines. Harry tried to reach her constantly at first. Calls from new numbers, emails, messages through mutual friends. She ignored all of it. Her lawyer handled the communication. Everything went through legal channels now. The custody agreement came together quickly. Harry got supervised visitation twice a week, 2 hours each time with a neutral third party present. He'd fought it at first, claimed Jennifer was being vindictive. But his lawyer had apparently explained the reality. A man who'd hidden his own child from his family wasn't in a position to demand unsupervised access. Harry's mother, Patricia, had reached out the day after the wedding, not to defend her son, but to ask if she could see Ethan. They'd met at a park. Patricia had brought toys, age-appropriate ones like she'd done research. She'd held Ethan carefully, tears in her eyes. I'm so sorry, she'd said. I'm so sorry I didn't know about you. About him. It's not your fault. I should have seen it. Should have known something was wrong when he stopped coming to Sunday dinners. He's very good at lying. Patricia had looked at her grandson, really looked like she was memorizing his face. He has Harry's eyes. I know. But I hope he has your heart. Jennifer had felt something crack open in her chest at that. Because Patricia could have blamed her, could have seen her as the woman who ruined her son's wedding, who aired their family's dirty laundry in public. Instead, she'd chosen Ethan, chosen truth. They'd exchanged numbers, made plans to meet again. Patricia had hugged her before leaving, a real hug, full of warmth and something that felt like solidarity. Now, 3 weeks later, Patricia was a regular part of their lives. She came over twice a week, separate from Harry's supervised visits. She played with Ethan, brought him books, told Jennifer stories about Harry's childhood that made him seem human instead of monstrous. He wasn't always like this, Patricia had said once. I don't know when he learned to lie so easily, or maybe he always could and I just didn't see it. Jennifer understood that. The questions that kept you up at night, the wondering where you'd gone wrong, what you'd missed, how someone you loved could become someone you didn't recognize. She was in therapy now, once a week, every Tuesday, processing the betrayal, learning to trust her own instincts again, understanding that love and harm could exist in the same relationship, and choosing yourself didn't make you selfish. Her therapist had asked her once, "What would you tell your son if this happened to him? If someone he loved betrayed him this deeply?" Jennifer had thought about it. "I'd tell him it wasn't his fault, that he deserved better, that walking away took more strength than staying." "So why can't you tell yourself that?" Jennifer was still working on that part. Cassandra texted occasionally. Not often, maybe once a week, just checking in. "How are you doing? Custody stuff finalized yet? Hope you're taking care of yourself." Jennifer always responded. Brief messages, nothing deep. But the connection was there, an understanding that didn't need many words. 6 months after the wedding that never happened, Jennifer's life had settled into a new rhythm. Ethan saw Harry twice a week, still supervised, though Harry's lawyer was pushing for unsupervised visits. Jennifer's lawyer was pushing back. They were in court next month to settle it. Harry paid child support on time, never missed a payment. Jennifer suspected his mother was making sure of that. Patricia was a constant presence, coming over for dinner once a week, taking Ethan to the park on Saturdays, sending Jennifer articles about single parenting and child development. She'd become the mother-in-law Jennifer never got to have, and the grandmother Ethan deserved. Jennifer had started a new job, better hours, better pay, less stress. She'd needed the change. The old job had been tied to Harry in her mind. He'd helped her get it. New people there. It was part of the life they'd built together. This new job was entirely hers. She'd also started saying no to things. To people who drained her energy. To obligations that felt like burdens. To the version of herself who'd bent and twisted to make everyone else comfortable. Her therapist called it boundary setting. Jennifer called it finally growing a spine. One Saturday, she took Ethan to the park. The same park where Patricia had met him for the first time. It felt different now, lighter, like she'd reclaimed it. A man approached while Ethan was on the swings. 30s, friendly smile, dad energy radiating off him. "Is this seat taken?" He gestured to the bench beside her. Jennifer's first instinct was suspicion. Her second was fear. Her third was annoyance at herself for feeling those things. Not everyone was Harry. Not every man was hiding something. "No, it's free." He sat down, pointed to a little girl on the slide. "That's mine. Emma. She's 4. This is Ethan. He's almost 3. Nice to meet you. I'm David." "Jennifer." They made small talk, the kind parents make at parks, about sleep schedules and picky eating and how fast kids grow. Nothing heavy, nothing weighted. After a few minutes, David's daughter called for him. He stood up, smiled at Jennifer. "Good luck with everything." "You too." He walked away. That was it. No phone numbers exchanged, no awkward flirting, just two parents existing in the same space. But Jennifer realized something. She'd talked to a man without her walls going up, without assuming the worst, without Harry's shadow falling over the interaction. That night, after Ethan was asleep, Jennifer pulled out her journal. She'd started writing in it after the wedding, her therapist's suggestion, a way to process everything without keeping it locked inside her head. She wrote, "6 months ago, I stopped a wedding. Not just Cassandra's, mine too, the one I thought I'd have, the future I'd imagined. I stopped all of it. And I'd do it again." She paused, pen hovering over the page. "Harry wasn't evil. I've spent months trying to make him into a villain, but the truth is more complicated. He was selfish. He was a coward. He chose comfort over honesty, convenience over courage. He built 2 lives because he couldn't choose, didn't want to face consequences. But consequences found him anyway. He lost both of us, his reputation, his easy life. Now he sees his son on a supervised schedule twice a week. His family knows who he really is. His friends know. Everyone knows. I didn't destroy him. He destroyed himself. I just refused to be collateral damage. She closed the journal and sat in the quiet of her house. Her house now, not theirs. Harry's name was off the deed. His things were gone. The space was entirely hers. It wasn't perfect. Single parenthood was hard. Money was tight. Some days she was so tired she could barely function. But it was honest. And honest was what she'd needed all along. 9 months after the wedding, Jennifer drove past the venue. It was hosting another event. A birthday party looked like. Balloons at the entrance. Happy people walking in dressed casually. She could have felt triggered, could have felt that pull back to the worst day of her life. Instead, she felt nothing. Not numbness, neutrality. That day had been necessary. Walking down the aisle with her son, speaking truth in front of witnesses, watching Harry's carefully constructed lies crumble. It had saved her, not literally, but spiritually. She would have married him, would have spent years wondering why he was distant, why his family never embraced her, why he kept parts of himself locked away. Now she knew, because you can't build a real life on lies, and she refused to live a lie. She drove past the venue without slowing down, heading home to the life that was fully hers, the one she'd chosen after all illusions burned away. Ethan was 3.5 when he asked the question Jennifer had been dreading. They were in the car, driving home from daycare. He was quiet in the back seat, and then suddenly, "Why doesn't Dada live with us?" Jennifer's hands tightened on the steering wheel. She'd prepared for this, had practiced answers with her therapist. But actually hearing the question made her throat close up. "Because Dada and Mommy decided it was better if we lived in different houses," she said carefully. "But you still get to see him, and he loves you very much." But why? Kids always asked why. It was never enough to give them the simple answer. "Sometimes grown-ups make choices that seem confusing," Jennifer said. "But what's important is that you know both Mommy and Dada love you. That doesn't change just because we don't live together." Ethan was quiet, processing. "Does Dada love you?" Jennifer's breath caught. She could lie, could tell him yes, everyone loves everyone, it's all fine. But she'd decided a long time ago that Ethan would grow up with truth, age-appropriate truth, but truth nonetheless. "Dada and Mommy loved each other once," she said slowly. "But sometimes love isn't enough if people aren't honest with each other. And Dada wasn't honest with Mommy about some important things." "What things?" "Things you'll understand better when you're older. But the important thing is that Mommy will always be honest with you, even when the truth is hard, okay?" "Okay." He went back to playing with his toy car. The subject dropped, at least for now. It would come up again, Jennifer knew that. As he got older, he'd ask harder questions, want more details. And she'd tell him. Not everything. Not the ugly parts that would hurt more than help. But enough. Enough that he'd understand his mother fought for him, that she refused to let lies define their family. The final court date came a year after the wedding that never happened. Harry wanted unsupervised visitation. Jennifer's lawyer argued he'd proven himself untrustworthy. Patricia had even testified on Jennifer's behalf, a moment that had clearly broken something in Harry's face. The judge ruled in Jennifer's favor. Supervised visits would continue, and this time around once a week for an hour, until Ethan was older. Old enough to communicate if something was wrong, old enough to understand boundaries. Harry could appeal in 2 years. Jennifer walked out of the courthouse feeling lighter than she had in months. It was over. Not forever. Co-parenting would be a lifelong negotiation. But this chapter was closed. Harry caught up with her in the parking lot. "Jennifer, wait." She turned. Looked at him for the first time in months. Really looked. He'd aged, lost weight, had dark circles under his eyes that hadn't been there before. "What do you want, Harry?" I wanted to say I'm sorry. I know I've said it before, but you have said it before. Through lawyers, through your mother, through every channel except directly to me. So why now? Because I finally understand. His voice was quiet, defeated. What I did to you, to Cassandra, to Ethan, I understand now. Jennifer studied his face, looking for manipulation, for the lie beneath the apology. She didn't see it, just exhaustion, regret, the face of a man who'd finally run out of excuses. Okay, she said. Okay? I hear you. You're sorry. I accept that you're sorry. She paused. But that doesn't change anything. You still did what you did, and I still have to protect our son from that. I would never hurt him. You already did, by hiding him, by making him a secret, by showing him that love means lying. Jennifer's voice stayed steady. So no, I don't forgive you, but I accept your apology, and I hope you've learned something. Harry nodded. His eyes were wet. Can I ask you something? He said. Depends what it is. Do you ever think about what we had before everything fell apart? Jennifer thought about it, really thought. Sometimes, she admitted. But then I remember that what we had was built on lies, so it was never real. Not really. Harry looked like he wanted to say more. Jennifer didn't give him the chance. She walked to her car, didn't look back. That evening, Jennifer sat on her back porch while Ethan played in the yard. The sun was setting, golden light filtering through the trees, painting everything soft and warm. Her phone buzzed. A text from Cassandra. Heard about court. Congratulations. Thanks. It's finally done. How do you feel? Jennifer thought about it. About the empty space where Harry used to be. About the life she'd rebuilt from nothing. About the peace that came from living honestly, even when honesty was hard. Free, she typed back. I feel free. 3 dots appeared. Then, you are free. You did that. You freed both of us. Jennifer smiled. Then she set her phone down and watched her son play, this little person who'd never asked to be part of such a complicated story, but who would grow up knowing his mother had fought for truth, for dignity, for both of them. The wedding had stopped a year ago. The ceremony had never happened. 2 women's futures had shattered and then rebuilt into something stronger, something honest, something theirs. The bride had frozen mid-vow, and in that frozen moment, 2 women had found the clarity they'd been denied. The wedding never happened. Jennifer's decision is final. Harry will only see his son for 1 hour a week, and always under supervision. She calls it protection. She calls it justice. But here's the debate. Some say this is necessary. A man who hid his own son, lied about his existence, and built a parallel life cannot be trusted. Supervised visits aren't punishment. They're safeguarding Ethan's emotional stability. Boundaries, consistency, and professional oversight are the only responsible choice after such a betrayal. Others argue it's emotional severance in slow motion. Reducing a father to a weekly monitored hour isn't co-parenting, it's dismantling a bond. While Harry betrayed his partners, is Jennifer punishing the father-child relationship too? Is she truly protecting Ethan or shaping him to see his dad as a stranger? The hardest question isn't about the lie anymore, it's about what comes after. Is this protection or punishment? Where do you stand? Debate in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one. Subscribe.